Hello everyone, I'm Carla Castro, the first DSD lecturer, and I'm here to guide you through the DSD tutorial. So here we have our new template, where we type in the patient's name, the date, and the doctor's name. We can also write here any observations that you might have on this patient, or it's the treatment that the patient has been doing, or any requirements from the patient, as if patient doesn't want to wear braces. This is a common one here in Brazil. Then we go to the next slide, and we have the frontal views, the smile and the retracted mouth, profile views, relaxed and smile, the 12 o'clock view, which for me is one of the most important for doing the wax up and getting to the mock-up. On the upper occlusal, we usually take this picture from the plaster model, for it's much simpler, easier to take this picture than straight from the mouth with a mirror. Lower occlusal, it's the same thing, you take it from the model, and other photos you might want to add. I usually put here a composition of smiles and profile, frontal views, relaxed lips and that. Then we go through a facial video to find out what the patient wants. You can ask a few questions for the patient and see what the patient would like from the smile and all that, but all these questions you also learn when you take the DSD course. Then you go to the close-up video, where you also have a few things you ask the patient to say, and finally the functional video. All these videos, they are extremely important for the making of a proper smile, because this way we can respect aesthetics, function, and the biological side also. And then here we have a template where you add the x-rays. Obviously these are not hers, these are generic ones. Perio chart, the panoramic for any other treatment you might do, implants or extractions, whatever you decide, with all the specialists. The computer imaging, very useful these days. The medical history, also extremely important. And then we go to our initial template to actually make our DSD. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my screens, and I'm going to show you my keyboard so you can see what I'm actually doing step by step. See you at the end. So there you go, now you can see my keyboard and what I'm going to do here to start our DSD. First we start with our facial frontal smile picture. So we go to the picture and we copy it, and we paste it on our slide. Now we have to see the lines, so we're going to send these pictures to back, press with your fingers, send to back, so we can see all the lines, so we can better position her face. This is what we call the facial bow, digital bow. So we start now to arrange this picture to better suit this face bow. So I would make it a bit bigger. First things we align are the horizontal lines. So the first one I'm gonna do is pupils, and see if they are pretty much aligned. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Then commissural line. Then we're gonna go to the vertical lines, where we align glabella, mental, and philtrum. Okay. Then we go to the vertical lines, where we align the glabella, philtrum, and mentum. Okay. So for that, I might want shift it a little bit because here is okay, here is not, so I want to tilt a little bit the picture. To do that, what I do is I press the command key and I go to the little square there on top of the picture, and you see that the arrow became a bent arrow. So now I can tilt the picture. I click it and I tilt it as necessary. So I go here, I think it's pretty good, and now I have to go with the picture a little bit to the side. So I go with the picture a little bit to the side and make sure everything is aligned, and I think it's pretty much it. Pretty much center. So once I have this in an ideal place, I duplicate the slide, clicking on the slide, 2 fingers, you get the bar here, and you can do all these functions. So I duplicated the slide, and now since I already used the face with the lines to determine my correct position with the horizontal, I don't need all this anymore. All I need are this cross and the smile. So I'm gonna mask this picture. For that, I double click and I get on the little square, pull it down, and I'm gonna cut it till I get the mouth. If you don't see the end on this side, with the 2 fingers you make the picture smaller, and you go and you make this smaller also. And you get only your smile. Now if you don't like the idea that this is a little tilted because we tilted the picture, you can press Command and go on the little square, and your mask will be a little straighter. So then what we're going to need, still crooked, let's fix this, there you go. So now I only need the smile and my cross. So I'm going to group this, and I'm going to take everything else but this and delete. And I duplicate, and now I have only a smile. I'm going to make this big so it's easier for me to work on. And I see that luckily her midline is exactly where it's supposed to be, which is a great thing. And now I'm gonna calibrate this. So I'm gonna go to my template down here, my slide, and I'm gonna get my ruler. I'll copy it and I'll bring it here. And for that, we learned in the course that we measure this distance. Let's say this patient, Rachel, she has a 16 measurement distal to distal of centrals. So I have this calibrated over here. And to work on my DSD, I have to bring my intraoral picture. So I'm define very easy to see points. Whichever first catches my eye are the ones I choose, okay? There's no exact science for this. You have to choose the ones you see best and clearer, okay? So I'm gonna say I see this junction here and this one. They catch my eye first. Double click the end of the line so it stops. And I place it right there at the end, and I'm gonna say, I go to shape again, draw with pen. I'm gonna say this dot right here plus this one are the other reference I need. So I have 2 lines to have as reference to place it into the intraoral picture and make sure I have the same placement to start my DSD. So now I have to take my intraoral picture and I'm going to paste it here. Now I only need the mouth, considering I already took all the lines, the facial lines, to do my DSD, so I don't need all of them. So I'm going to paste it the same way I did the other one, double click and bring in the lines. Let's take a little more over here. And now I'm going to make this bigger. And I'm going to bring this to the back and this to the back. So I have this here and I can place it where my lines were. I see the picture is too big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. And I need to tilt it. A bit bigger. And you see the picture was jumping. So to make smoother this transition, I hold the Command key down and I can move little by little, not as drastic as it was before. I think it should be bigger. Now we can make sure here is 16. If we've done it correctly, it's exactly 16. Oops. Another great comment that you can use in your computer. I took the wrong thing away and I want to put it back where it was. So I press Command Z. Command Z is a great tool to use. Every time you mess up, you press Command Z and it goes back one step. So now I'm just going to check here. I can click on the picture and I go here to Style and I see Opacity and I can make it so I see if I have this picture on the right place, and you can see that it's pretty much it. Okay. So now I'm going to group this because I want my lines. And I'll bring to front. Okay, I'll send this to back. And then I'll send this to back. Okay, then I have my lines. The reference with my horizontal line. They're pretty much aligned. Okay. Better you take those pictures, better it is for you to do this now. So make sure when you take those pictures that you learn also in the course that you take them in the right angle. So now we can duplicate this. We don't need these reference lines anymore. And we can start planning our DSD. Once we look at the videos and we realize she shows a lot of gum and the inciso is pretty much where it's supposed to be on the right central. So what we're going to do is, after analyzing the video, is make sure that the inciso stops here of the central and we can go up. Okay, but so Also midline. Midline, if you see, it's a little bit to the left, to the right of her face. What we do is we duplicate it, and this line we place it exactly where it is, the midline, and we measure it. Now, if you can see here, it's like a quarter of a millimeter. It's not even half a millimeter. It's a quarter of a millimeter. That does not show. If you look at it front on the patient, you never see quarter of a millimeter shift the line. What you see is if the midline is tilted. So if the midline is like this, you'll see it from far. So it's important that the midline is never tilted, it's always straight. And if it's at most 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters off, you can leave it where it is because no one is going to notice. Just make sure, as I said, it's not tilted. Okay, so we have this great already. Our bow is here. We have the occlusal plane and the horizontal plane, and we already know where to start. So now we have to make sure we have the right curve for the smile and the proportions. So what we do is we double click here, we copy, and we place it in our template, and we see a curve here, what we think it might be suitable. Now, what I like to do here is confirm this with the lips to make sure this is a nice curve to the eyes. So what I do is I take out a little bit of the opacity of this picture and make sure that this curve with the lip is good. So I think I need to go a little bit more like this, and I think this is a good curve. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Duplicate, and I go up there and I flip horizontal, and I get it here. Command key makes it smoother, and I place it there. Now I see that on this side it's not so nice, this curve, that I should come up a little bit. It will look better with the lip. So I do that and make sure it looks good visually. Okay? So now I can bring back my picture here. So now I have the curvature of the smile, the one that's best for it. And then I go to the first one here of the templates, and I'm gonna get a proportion for the centrals. And these are the most used. If you stay in between the 80%, it's most likely to look good to the eyes. So let's try to see how this one looks first. And we know also that I can go up a bit on the gum, that it's gonna look good if I go a little up. I'm gonna say that she needs, let's say this one. I'm gonna say she needs a 75%. Just because of the gum line that she shows a lot. I'm gonna go up there a bit. See there, I cover a little more of the gum. I think it'll look good for her. So I duplicate this and I bring it to my other center. Okay? Once I do this, I have to get my proportion ruler. This is already done with measurements of aesthetics dentistry. The proportions in a frontal view, what it is more becoming to the eyes. And I'm gonna try to place this here with my centrals. And I got here my proportion, what I have to see in a frontal view from the lateral, from the canines and centrals. Once I have this proportion done, I have to duplicate this the smile curve, and bring up because I gotta do my curve for the gum. So I'm gonna place this here, and obviously it's not this accentuated, so we bring it down a bit, the edges of the curve, so I have the alignment for my gum, for my zeniths. And I think this is pretty much it. And now I can start placing the contour of my teeth. Now we have to choose a shape of tooth that would better suit this patient. So looking at her physical qualities and personality, I'm going to choose the shape of her teeth. Okay, so we have here 4 shapes: oval, and what it means in a personality, triangular, rectangular, and square. For her, I'm going to choose oval. Usually, for girls, you end up picking oval, but be careful, it's not always. A lot of times, oval it's not going to be good for the patient, so watch out for that. I'm going to ungroup this and put my contour here. Hold the Command key, so I have a place it there. And now I duplicate it and go to my menu bar and flip horizontal. And this one, I bring it to the side. Okay, and now I'm going to do my lateral. And the laterals, what happens is they do not touch either line. So I'm going to bring it just a bit off the lines. Okay, duplicate it and flip horizontal. Now I do the same with my canine. Now the canine touches it, both lines. Okay. Duplicate it and flip horizontal and bring it to the other side. Now I do my premolars because I think here is needed. Sometimes we don't need premolars. In this case we do need it. Premolars don't touch either line either, just like the laterals. We duplicate it and we do the second premolar. You see, this one's gonna have to look a little smaller. Now we get this, duplicate, flip horizontal, bring to the side, and you see that this side needs to be a bit bigger. To look symmetrical, duplicate, flip horizontal, and let's see, this is pretty much it. So here I have my outline. I don't need these ones anymore. I can choose all of them holding the Command key down and delete. And here I have my outline for my new smile. What we can do here also is bring to front this picture and determine where the teeth are at now. So I go up there to my toolbar and I get draw with pen, and I'm going to draw all the teeth that I'm going to change positionings, just to show the big transition that it's going to be. If you want to make this a little curve, you can get the little dots here and curve the lines, okay? And you do this with all the teeth that you're gonna reposition or extract, or whatever all the specialists decide they should do for best results and respecting the function and biological space of each patient. So here you can take longer time or shorter time depending on how precise you want to do this. Again, remember, if you want to make these lines curved, you just click in between the squares, the little squares that you're drawing, and you can make it curve. There. Look. If you double click here, you can go back to the ones you've already made and do the same thing. If you're going to show the patient, I recommend you do this and make it nicer and smoother, the lines. Because it's better to show them something that is exact, otherwise they're going to say, oh, but he made the picture worse on purpose, so it looks like there's more that has to be done. So try to do this as best as you can. This is great for the understanding of the patients of all the difference that it's going to be once you're done. And one more. And let's go back one. Now I'm going to get all of them. And I'm going to go to style and the line, and here's the color. I'm going to turn this and I'm going to make it thicker, okay, the line. So now here I have the teeth where I would like them to be, and here I have where they are at now. Okay, so what I do is now duplicate this, and I take this picture out, and here I have the positioning with the lips where they should be and where they are at now. This one should come up a bit here. Look. And if I want to really get a great picture of it, I take all the pictures out and I only leave myself with the lines. Where they are and where they should be. So we have a better view of everything that's going on here. Now, also, this picture is extremely important to do our Command Z. There you go. If you do something wrong, Command Z. What I'm gonna do here is I'll take everything out. And I'm gonna be here just with this, and I get my horizontal line and I bring it up best if you have your there into our picture. So now you're gonna get here a 0 mark point, whichever tooth touches first the horizontal line, that's your 0. So this one here is your 0 mark, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your ruler, tilt it, and you're gonna measure tooth by tooth this distance from cervical of the tooth to the horizontal line. This way you can transfer this to your model. Also something you learned how to do in your course. Now, we already have our frontal view. So now we have to go to our 12 o'clock view. Let's turn this vertical. 12 o'clock view, we're going to go there and we're going to get our 12 o'clock picture. We copy it and we paste it and send it to the back. We're going to align this the best way possible with the midline here. We have to tilt a little bit. And here we have a better alignment. Great. Since it's already aligned, I'm going to mask this. So I double click and I bring in the line to the smile. And again, if it bothers you that it's crooked, as it does me, Command down, bent arrow, and I'm gonna and now I'm gonna make this bigger. I'm gonna get my ruler that it's already calibrated, copy it, paste it here, calibrate this to 16. I see that it's too small, so I'm gonna make it bigger. Almost there. Tiny bit more. This is pretty good. So now I have the calibrated picture, and I'm gonna place this on my bow. I'm gonna get my reference, my guide, and I'm gonna paste it here. It's calibrated already with the midline, so I just place it there, and I have the positioning where teeth should be at, and now I'm going to calibrate this to that. So I make this fit here. Again, this is all just references, okay? Nothing is exact science here. And here I have a great way to see how much I need to add in volume. Or take out. Okay, so here we have our 12 o'clock view calibrated. Now we go to our occlusive view. So we go there, we get the model picture, and we bring it to our occlusive view, and we paste it, bring center back, and here we're gonna line the ref with the horizontal line. So we have to tilt this pict a bit, still out. This is pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do is calibrate it. So I go there, I take this, let's take it from this one so it's already this way. Okay, copy, paste, and I make sure I have 16 here. Let's mask it because it's too big to work with. If it bothers you again, make it straighter. And we make the picture bigger to make sure it's 16, and we have everything calibrated and nice to have the correct positioning and study of the case. Too big. Perfect. 16. Calibrated. I'm going to place it on the midline here that we know it's correct. Have to tilt the picture a bit more. And here we have it in the right positioning. Now we get again our proportions ruler. We copy it. We paste it. And we place it on the midline. And now you can position the teeth. You know from the 12 o'clock picture that you can add volume here. You have to take a little from this. This canine is correct. So you have these 3 teeth that need volume. These 3. And you place them first on your proportions ruler. Make sure it's the right size. You tilt this a bit and you place it in the right spot. We'll do the same thing on the other side. What you can do is you get here, duplicate, flip horizontal, and you bring it to this side. It's never gonna be perfect. You're always gonna have to adjust it because no side is like the other. We see the canine is correct there on the picture, so we aligned it with the canine there. Then we have to add more volume here and more volume here, so it's pretty much it. So here we have our occlusal view. Now you have your three views, frontal, 12 o'clock, and occlusal. You can also place them all in the same slide and make it easier for every specialist that is involved in the case. Now, since we have already all our reviews, all that's left for us to do is our simulation, so the patient can see themselves with this new smile. So I'll get this picture that I have everything done. I'll take all this information out that I don't need anymore. And I'm gonna just leave what I need, which are the outlining of the teeth. So now I need to get the texture of this teeth. I can take the patient's own texture, or I can get this from my templates over here. I'm gonna pick this one. I think it's gonna be pretty good. And I paste it here. I ungroup it. And I'm gonna do one side, adjust coloring, and then I'll do the other side. So I'll take this, I'll place it here, make sure I get to the full size. I'll take the lateral and do the same thing. I think I prefer this one. I'll flip and I adjust it to the right size, just a little more. And do the same with my K9. Hold the Command key down, make this smoother. Pretty good there. And I'll do my premolars also, since they will make a big difference in the smile. And I duplicate this for my last one here. And as we remember, it's a little bit smaller than the first one. Okay. So into front, just make sure they are on the right positionings here. And what I'm going to do is, this is obviously too dark for this patient, so I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to go to Image, Exposure, and I'll make it lighter I'll do this in all of them. Also, what you can do here is saturation, make it more or less yellow. Make it a little less yellow. Also, what you can do is go here to adjust and take out some highlights. So it doesn't look so bright and looks more natural. I think it's pretty good. So what I do now is I duplicate this and flip horizontal. Duplicate it and flip horizontal. Okay, did all of them at once to make it faster, and now I just position the teeth where they're supposed to be. Just place them on the right place. I can also make this one bigger. Okay, all of them positioned. What I like to do now is take out those little white lines that may throw you off. All the ones that you see now, later on, you eliminate the rest. And to give it a more natural look, you hold the Command key and you click on all of them. And you go to Style, Border, Line. You make it as thin as possible, 1. And you put a little line there so they don't look like one big denture. Now I can eliminate all of this, and what I have to do is put this into my picture with lips. I'll duplicate this slide, and what we're going to see now is, since I've been working with both pictures, is I just click on this picture, delete it, and it already goes to the mouth. Okay, now I can see teeth here, and this is not good. So what we do is we duplicate our mouth picture and we go to Shape, Drop In, and I'm gonna get a little piece here of this background that it's gonna better match where my posterior teeth are showing. Get both and mask. Enter. So here I have now a little piece, and I'm gonna place it. I can make it bigger, and I'm gonna place it here. Where it better suits the image. And I'm gonna bring this to the front. I'm going to click on this, this, and bring to front. So I don't see that tooth there anymore. What I can do here, if it doesn't look as good, I tilt it a bit and make sure this blends in better with the image. Here we go. And now I have a little piece of tooth here still, so I do the same thing. I get this picture, I duplicate it, and I go to shape, draw with pen, and it's here in the front, so I'll take a little piece of this area to better suit the image. Enter. And I'll bring this to the front. So now I don't see any more of the teeth, but I do see teeth going up the lip. So I gotta do the same process with my lip. Just so I don't forget this stuff there, I'm gonna get these little pieces and all my teeth, and I'm gonna group it. Now I have to duplicate my lip, so I'll get my lip here by doing the same thing. Draw with pen, and now I just make sure I have the correct line of the lip. The important thing is that we get really here where the lip is running, because it's gonna go on top of our new DSD teeth. The rest of it doesn't matter much. You can just do whatever and click both, mask, enter. So we already have it there. Click on that, click on your teeth and group it. And also click on your picture and group it. So you have everything grouped here. Now you can duplicate this slide and make this smaller. There you go. Make this smaller. And you double click twice, double click once, double click again, and you're gonna unmask her, because you masked it in the beginning, and you unmask it now to make sure you see beautiful Rachel with her new smile. And duplicate it. And here you ungroup it, click on everything you grouped and delete it. So there you go. You got Rachel and her new DSD smile. Hope this tutorial helps everyone. And until I see you again, speak DSD.